I also want to give you suggestions of what to do in case one finds themselves in this situation. I felt the need to make this content primarily from a place of concern, from conversation I've overheard and had with some people who are yet to come to the UK. Some of them already are here, and this conversation boils around, yeah, even if I don't get my stay, let me just come, let me just jackma, let me just land the country. However I see myself, I take. If my papers get to expire, I'll stay. Look, I just want to leave. Now, in as much as one, especially when home does not feel like home anymore, one can be pushed to the state of desperation, and I totally get it. I do not blame you for feeling that way. It's as a matter of fact, it's the unfortunate construct of the environment you found yourself. But take a break and listen to me, what I have to say regarding this. Using here the UK that we live, for example, or for instance, what happens to a person if they happen to remain in a country like this one illegally? That state is not a state that anybody wants to walk into with their clear eye, if I'll put it that way. People who have been here and have lost their right or do not have their right to stay here, if they tell you as CDP, it's not something you daily watch, like carry your leg enter inside, because some of the challenges these people face can be worse than a disease. One of the first thing is a person who doesn't have the right to stay here in the UK, for example, is not able to work. In as much as some persons maneuver the situation and then walk through other person's identity, these people who are doing this job are being subjected to all forms of inhuman treatment, both by those who are working with them. I don't know, and there's something about people from our country. They can be very manipulative. They can be wicked. Let me just put it plainly, just plainly wicked. Modern day slavery is literally what they put these people, persons in this situation through. Whatever it is you earn, they want to literally collect everything, because what can you do? Who can you complain to? You cannot go to the authorities. So you work, and then they expect you to even be grateful that they're giving you an opportunity to earn a living. So you get to earn, for example, £2,000 after your hard-earned labor, dodging the authorities, dodging force and everything, and then you work and come back. They collect like a certain percentage of it, and then you're left with whatever is left, which you're still going to have to pay bills, expenses, feeding expenses and living expenses from. Another situation is inability to find housing. See, the fact that I'll just tell you straight up, if a person doesn't have their papers here in the UK, they cannot go to any landlord and tell them they want to rent an accommodation. It's not possible. Usually what people who are able to navigate it through do is they have to go through someone. So somebody will have to be the one to get this apartment for them in those person's name and then put them in. You see that kind of, you see how dependent you can be on people. And when some people, especially people who are not nice, which majority of these are African people, Nigerian people can be, is the fact that they know that you do not have your legal rights to stay here. They just want to use you. They can be very manipulative. They can see you're vulnerable. They will treat you in the most inhuman way. They will not treat you like your fellow human being. They will treat you like they're your slave master. You know, that kind of thing. Like your life or your breath depends on them. If you cough small, they say if you cough, I'll seize your breath. If you drink water too much, I will collect the cup break. You know, that kind of situation. It's not something. Think about these things properly before you think of jumping from your home country, which you think is uncomfortable, to this foreign land. I'm telling you these things for you to really look before you think about leaping. Again, do you know that without your legal documents to stay here, the person is not able to access hospitals, healthcare? What I mean exactly, breaking it down further, is that's not to say the person cannot go to the hospital. You can go to the hospital, but the hospital the person will be able to go to is private hospitals. And those private hospitals, the amount of money they charge, The NHS themselves, which is the one funded by the government, is the one you're able to access, which we pay for, right? But the amount is very, very small, very minute compared to the amount of treatment or the level of treatment one is going to get. And that's usually throughout, the amount you pay is throughout the duration of your visa or your stay, compared to if you have to go to private hospitals. Their consultation fee alone can be as much as £250 just to book an appointment, or £200 to get a consultant who will attend to you. And then by the time they've attended to the person, diagnose, medication, everything on they pursue like £500, £600, £700 or even more, depending on what the health issue is. Then if you now think about having a baby under such circumstance, if you're a female, whether you're a male or female, you and your partner want to have a child, think about how much money you're going to have to cough out, on top of the fact that you're working with someone else's identity, or you're working cash at hand, backyard work, that those persons know that you do not have the legal rights to stay and you cannot complain. Whatever they give to you, you take. On top of that, you're going to be paying exorbitant health bill. You're not able to find housing. At some point it makes life not worth living. It's not funny. In the midst of all of this, do you know that the person who does not have papers in this country cannot open a bank account? You cannot. So while you're earning money, or while the person is earning money, where are you going to put your money? You see what I'm saying? So usually some persons get to use these other person's identity whom they are using to get work, to open bank accounts. You know how complicated this kind of matter is. Imagine, I know a story of one person who was using a person's identity to work, and that same person's account number or account, their bank account is where the employer pays the money to. Do you know that when this lady receives her money, instead of this other lady to give it to her, normal, directly give it to her cash or however it is they've agreed, this lady is going to first of all spend whatever she wants to spend, use whatever she wants to use out of that money, all in the name of I'm using my percentage. And at her own free time, whenever, which can be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever, that is when she would then call her to come and take her money. See how heartbreaking, how inhuman this situation is. Your fellow human being, probably these two people used to be friends, or whatever the situation is, the person has reduced you now to their slave, to an object, to their item, more like their work ass. They will send you to go work like an ass that works in the farm, and then you work and then you come back and they eat out of it and throw out the crumbs to you. You don't want to reduce yourself to that situation. And the height of it all is, while this person is struggling, or while a person who has no papers is struggling in this situation, if they unfortunately get found by the authorities, they are very likely facing deportation, especially if they do not have strong ties in terms of family members or children or anything in this country, which very likely could lead to a 10-year ban. That for 10 years the person cannot apply or attempt to come back to this country. Now, having discussed all of the complications that a person who has no legal rights to stay in this country can face, I also want to give you suggestions of what to do in case one finds themselves in this situation. I also want to tell you circumstances that could help a person turn around the situation. Now, I am no legal. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer here. I am no, legal advisor or immigration expert or something like that. But all I'm telling you is from my own experience and experience of people like you and I in this society, and from a place of love and from a place of care. So one major recommendation I'm going to make is charity organizations. So charity organizations are excellent in helping people who have overstayed their stay, who are illegal here in the country, who need help, who are in vulnerable situations. And these organizations are very good in providing legal support, legal help to people in situations like this, free of charge. They'll give you a lawyer to help sort things out for you, help with food, help with medical help, they are excellent. I cannot even overemphasize. On the other hand, some of the grounds that can help a person who has no legal stay in this country regularize their stay is if a person is between the ages of 18 to 25 and they've lived at least half of their lives here in the UK. They stand a chance of getting a legal stay here in the UK. Also, if a person has stayed in this country for 20 years illegally, they stand a chance of getting their stay regularized here in the UK. Also, if it's not possible, if you present a case that, of course, with a lawyer, which, as I suggested earlier, contact charity people, they get you a lawyer. And if this is your case, that you're not able to return to your home country because you're going to be persecuted or your life is in danger if you get to go back to your home country, this person also stands a chance of getting their stay turned around and legalized. Or if you happen to be a person who falls under this category, that your previous visa, that's your last visa, the expired one, was a partner visa, that partner you had on your previous visa has put you through domestic violence or domestic abuse. Some people now even say emotional abuse, falls under this abuse situation. So with these good lawyers, charity organization lawyers, because obviously probably you have no money, they can help fight your cause and regularize your stay. Also, if you have children whom you have proof that they are British citizens, or even if they are not British citizens or have lived in this country for 7 years or more, now there could be a clause to this particular one which you might want to check out, with these lawyers. Normally, the one I know of for sure is if a child is born here in the UK and they've lived for over 7 years, like they've lived for 7 years, that child qualifies to apply for a British citizenship. And once they get their citizenship, you qualify automatically as a parent to a British child, even if all of you have been illegally staying in the country. But you also want to check, what if my child was not born here, but my child has been here for over 7 years? Do we stand a chance? Charity organizations, they are very good at handling these cases. And then lastly, if you do have a partner, if you do find a partner who is of British descent, like British citizen, or the person has a settled status, right? That's the one they call indefinite leave to remain in the UK. You stand a chance of regularizing your stay from going from illegal stayer or overstayer to a regularized legal stayer here in the UK with a good resident permit. Knowledge and information, they say, is key and is power. Avail yourself with knowledge, make further research, stay safe, avoid exploitation. At the end of the day, the essence of whatever it is we're chasing in life, money, success, or whatever it is to live a happy, fulfilled life. And by fulfillment, it boils around a peaceful, happy life. I wish you the best in every of your life endeavor, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.